Hello, welcome to Leveling Up in Life. My name is Nicole, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys our breakfast sausage casserole recipe. This is the dish that we make pretty much every week or every other week, and we eat for breakfast pretty much every single work day. We initially were looking for something that would be quick and easy to heat up in the mornings, and so that we can have breakfast but not have to wake up super extra early and make breakfast every day. Before Ryan was working at home, he would have to travel about 45 minutes or an hour to work every day, and so we wanted something that would be quick and easy so that he didn't have to get up even earlier and that we could spend some time together in the morning not cooking breakfast. I found this recipe, actually I got it from my aunt, but we modified the recipe just a little bit. It's perfect for us because I can make it in the evenings. It takes some refrigeration. We usually refrigerate overnight. And then in the morning, since Ryan's the early riser, he'll stick it in the oven. It'll bake for 50 minutes. But once it's baked and cooked, then we can just reheat it the rest of the days of the week in the microwave for a couple minutes, and it's good to go. It's pretty delicious. We both really enjoy it. So honestly, we've been eating this for breakfast almost every day for the past couple months at least, if not longer. In this video, we're gonna show you guys how we make it, and I hope you enjoy it. First things first, we need pan to cook the breakfast casseroles in. I'm gonna be cooking 2 today because we like to make ours in bulk. That way we don't have to continually make one every week. So I'm gonna have 2 containers. The next thing I'm going to need is some butter. I use spray butter. The butter is really just so that I can grease the pan, so any way you want to grease the pan is fine. And then the next step for this portion is a whole loaf of bread, roughly 16 slices. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the tops off. And I'm just going to spray or grease the bottom. Might get a little messy if you use the spray method. Now that those are sprayed, I'm just going to put these aside for now. I'm going to take out my cutting board, my knife, and my loaf of bread. I want roughly 8 pieces per casserole. Then you want to cut each bread into squares. Typically 1 inch by 1 inch squares are fine. And then you want to toss them into the bottom of your pan. A little tip from me, you don't want to cut them with stacking on top of each other, because then it smushes the bread and then they get stuck together and it makes it a little bit smushed. So I try to do them 1 slice layer at a time. You can cut these pieces as big or as small as you like. Kind of a messy process, but I tend to make a mess in the kitchen. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this pile and put it into this dish. So Ryan and I typically buy the bread that is available in the bakery in the store. And the bread that we buy at our local store typically doesn't fill the pan up this much. This is a lot of bread as far as for the layer for the casserole goes. If you like your casserole to have a lot of bread pieces, you can keep this. I may take some of this out depending on how much I want to fill up this other section here. So what I'm going to do, which is not what I normally do, but because of coronavirus, we're not able to buy the same bread that we usually buy. I'm going to take a few of these handfuls of these bread slices, and I just wanted to kind of cover the bottom of the tray. It doesn't need to be too much. So I've already got a good bit here. I probably am going to need about maybe 6 more slices or so. So I'll get those cut up and thrown into the second bin. So I've got the base for my casserole down. Now it's time to cook the sausage and make the egg mixture. Okay, so for this portion of the casserole, we're going to be making the sausage portion of the casserole. All you need is a pan that's big enough to hold however much meat you're cooking. I'm making 2 casseroles at the same time. So I'm going to have 2 pounds of meat. We do like to get the Jimmy Dean's regular breakfast sausage, premium pork sausage. They do make a Jimmy Dean's that's hot, and sometimes we will get that because Ryan and I do like spicy, hot food items. And then also, in addition to the sausage, you're going to need salt and pepper, and as well as some rubbed sage. So you can get some of the breakfast sausage that has the sage flavor to it, but since I have this here, we get the regular sausage. And then trusty wooden spoon. So I've turned on this pan already, and it's plenty hot. You can use a little bit of oil if you'd like, but I don't want to have to drain too much of my sausage. And when I cook it, enough oil comes out that I'm not going to add any to the pot. All I'm going to do is I'm going to brown the sausage here and add some of my spices to it. And then once that's all done and cooked up, then we're going to add it to the casserole. It's gotten a little bit brown, but it's not yet fully cooked. This is the point where I like to add all of my spices. So take some pepper, some salt, and then the rubbed sage. And then once I mix it all in, I'm gonna let it cook a little bit more. And once it's fully browned, then we're going to come back and add it to our casserole. Okay, so right now this is pretty much cooked fully. What I'm going to do is turn off the burner. I'm going to let it kind of sit. Let me grab my casserole pan to show you what I do next. So these are the pans that we cut up and put our bread pieces into. What you want is you want 1 pound per casserole. So obviously I'm doing 2. I'm going to have both my casseroles here. I'm just going to divide the meat evenly, spread on top of both of the bread pieces. Trying to drain any grease that's there along the way. Okay, so for this portion, we're going to add the cheese layer on top of the sausage layer. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I've in the past used like a Mexican style cheese, but mostly I go with the cheddar, so I really like the way that it tastes in the end. The recipe called for about a cup of cheese, I believe, maybe a cup and a half. That seemed like a little much for me. I think about a cup and a half or so. So what I kind of do is I just kind of eyeball it. I kind of just make sure that the top is kind of lightly covered. Same thing for here. And you can use whatever kind of cheese your family likes. Again, we like the cheddar over here. So I added the cheese. I think it's about a cup per over the top of each of them. This one looks fine. This one, I might add a little bit more around the edges. But you can add it as you'd like. I'm going to take a little bit of finely shredded Mexican, put a little bit on top, just to kind of add to the flavor. Okay, so now that I have that done, everything is built. I just need to add that egg milk mixture. It's going to be half and half with egg. I'm going to add that mixture on top and pour it on top. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that now. Okay, to make the egg mixture, what you're going to need is you're going to need a bowl. You're going to need something to measure out 2 cups. You'll need some half and half, some ground mustard, and some salt and pepper. And lastly, you'll need some eggs. What you want to do first is crack 6 eggs into this bowl. Okay, check to make sure I didn't have any shells drop in. What I like to do at this point, I like to beat the egg. After I feel like I've beaten them enough that they're no longer yolk and white separated, you take 2 cups of half and half. Try not to spill your eggs. Now what I do is I like to whisk in the milk with my eggs. And I take some ground mustard and I put a little bit of ground mustard in there. And I take the pepper and I put some pepper. And I add a good amount of salt. And I mix everything together. I think I need a little bit more pepper. Okay, cool. That is my egg mixture. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the egg mixture with the casserole dish. Okay, so this is that egg half and half mixture that we made. I'm going to go ahead and pour the first one on top. And I try to go kind of make almost a U shape with it, try to get everywhere. Because if you pour straight in the middle, I feel like it doesn't get to the edges sometimes. So as best as I can, show you how I normally pour it. Kind of make sure it kind of gets everywhere. And then now we're going to do the second one. Here's the second mixture. Okay, so because these are going to sit overnight, or for at least 6 hours, but we cook this in the evening and then we let it sit overnight, all the moisture and all the half and half is going to get soaked up by the bread. So when we cook it, it's going to all be incorporated. So for now, we're going to add the tops to them. And then in the morning, we're going to cook these at 350 for 50 minutes. We'll show you that we'll add aluminum foil to the top and that will cook them. But that's going to happen in the morning. For now, we are done and these are ready to go in the fridge to refrigerate for about 5 to 6 hours or overnight.
So go ahead and preset your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Take out the casseroles from the previous day. What you're going to want to do here is cover everything in aluminum foil. All of it. Make sure there are no gaps. If you have an odd looking pan, just go ahead and do the best job that you can with what you have. Once everything's preheated, go ahead and toss your pan straight into the oven. I like to use the middle rack, it feels right. Then set your timer at 15 minutes and hit go. Once everything's going off and your house is not on fire, turn off the timer, pull everything out of the oven, and basically you're done. You do want to let it cool for about 5 minutes before you go ahead and slice everything up. But you're ready to go.
Okay, so after everything has cooled off, go ahead and take off the aluminum foil. Then you're going to cut each of your casseroles into, we use 8 pieces. You can use whatever feels right for you. Then you're going to take your saran wrap and you're going to wrap each individual piece. This will make it good for storing in the freezer. Depending on the shape of your pan, some of the pieces don't come out quite square, but it's delicious all the same. And then what we also will do sometimes is store them in some containers that we will put in the fridge versus in the freezer. And this is what it looks like after you've cooked 2 pans worth of breakfast sausage casserole. Ta-da! Alright, thank you so much for watching this video with us. I hope you enjoyed seeing how we make our breakfast sausage casserole. And if this is something that you find interesting and that you like and you want to try, go ahead and comment down below how it worked out for you guys. If you like the video, please go ahead and like it. If you subscribe and ring the bell, you will get all the notifications on our fitness, finance, and family-centered goals. My name is Nicole. I really enjoyed cooking with you guys today. See you later. Bye. If I can find it.